disqualification case against Marcos.
Guanzon is the presiding commissioner of the First Division, which handles the disqualification cases against Bongbong Marcos. She insists that the petition against Bongbong Marcos holds ground.
It's moral turpitude that he did not file for 4 years. He did not file his income tax return, did not pay taxes.
For former Commissioner Louis Gia, Guanzon's move was not within the usual procedure.
Hindi ho yan within the rules yung ganong procedure, or at the very least pwede natin sabihin kakaiba yung nangyari.
The disqualification cases pending in the Commission on Elections have become the subject of heated arguments ahead of the official election season. Will these incidents affect the integrity of the Comelec? We discuss in this episode of the Chiefs. Welcome to the Chiefs. I'm Robbie Alampay. Also with us are Ami Pamituan of the Philippine Star, Luchi Cruz Valdez of News 5, and Ed Lingao of One News. Chiefs, happy Friday.
Happy weekend.
Good evening.
Happy weekend.
Actually, I'm quite eager to get to our guest. Pero Ami, very quickly, ano ba mga binabantayan natin?
Dahil weekend naman, di happy news muna, no? Maligaya yung tourism industry dahil bubuksan na yung mga borders natin.
Talaga.
Okay na. Yung mga fully vaccinated lang naman. And no more quarantine, no more facility quarantine.
Yeah. Tsaka yung mga kamag-anak na mga balikbayan. No?
Yes.
Oh, pero so ano mangyayari doon? So wala nang pag when they arrive, assuming na fully vaccinated at saka maraming certification, hindi lang yung vax cert and so on. So assuming kompleto ka nun, literally pag land mo, pwede ka nang dumiretso sa bahay?
Yes, 7-day safety quarantine na lang, di ba?
So self-quarantine, in other words. It's no longer a facility quarantine.
Yes.
So pag landing mo, pwede ka nang diretso sa taxing mahal.
Pero linawin natin. Ba't linawin natin yun? Diretso ka pa rin sa bahay.
Di ba
Home
pwede
quarantine.
Public transport.
Home quarantine. Hindi ka pwedeng dumiretso sa poblasyon. Halimbawa, hindi ka pwedeng dumiretso sa party ng barkada mo.
Yan ang problema. Paano nating malalaman kung nag-home quarantine tuloy-tuloy?
Sige. Anyway, but that is a major development for the tourism industry and for the economy. I guess we'll also have to watch the fallout, if any, for that. But for now, we're talking about the obvious story for the day. Let's begin tonight with Attorney Enrique Buco de la Cruz, a senior partner of Divina Law. Good evening and welcome to the Chiefs, Attorney.
Good evening.
Magandang gabi po. Thank you for
Good evening, attorney.
Attorney, ilatag muna natin itong kay Commissioner Guanzon. No? First, I just want to clarify. Walang debate doon. There's precedent, there is jurisprudence on, I imagine this is not the first time na inabutan ng retirement ang isang commissioner pagkatapos merong may desisyon na nakabinbin, ano? What does precedent and jurisprudence tell us? Talagang after she retires, wala, isasantabi na lang talaga unfortunately yung position niya?
Yes po, that is a well-settled position. No? Ang reason ay, a decision is not yet binding unless it is promulgated. Yun yung rationale, yun yung reason. No? So wala pang desisyon hanggat hindi ito nilalabas. So even if you signed the draft, even if it's a final draft and you signed it, but at the time that it was promulgated, you are no longer a member of the court or of the commission, then your vote will no longer be counted. Kasi hindi ka na opisyal na miyembro ng hukuman o ng komisyon. As early as 1997 in Hamil versus Comelec, tapos 2001, Dumayas versus Comelec, malinaw na sinabi ng Korte Suprema, yung mga nakapirmang mahistrado o miyembro ng komisyon ng Comelec na wala na sa Comelec, nag-retire na o nag-resign na o namatay na, nung nilabas ang desisyon, hindi na mabibilang ang kanilang boto.
Pero attorney, ang argumento po ni Commissioner Guanzon, mukha raw deliberately pinapatagal or dinidelay yung paglabas, yung promulgation. Does she have any legal ground to stand on there? Meron bang dapat na you have 15 days to come out with a decision or a promulgation? Or it's all up to the ponente?
Naiintindihan ko yung posisyon ni Commissioner Guanzon dahil under Rule 18, ng Rules of Procedure ng Comelec. Sila mismo ang gumawa nito, no? Rule 18, Section 8. Nakalagay doon, any matter being heard by a division must be decided within 10 days from the time it is submitted for decision. So, a matter is considered submitted for decision kapag lahat ng pleading, lahat ng dapat isubmit ay naisubmit na. Bibilang ka ngayon ng 10 araw doon. I think lagpas na sila ng 10 days.
In this case, it was
Lagpas na eh.
January 14
Yes.
daw eh. January 14 daw yung huling pleading, yung submitted for...
Yes, so 24 dapat, dapat pwede nang mag-decide, di ba? Yun yung expectation. Pero hindi nga nangyari yun. In GMA News, no, meron silang balita ron that they came out with tonight na meron daw letter, copy of a letter written by Commissioner Ampolocchio, yes, si Carolino, kay Chairman Abbas, na sinasabi niya in effect na si Commissioner Guanzon daw was unduly rushing her, in so many words, no, and pressuring her to come out with a decision. And she did say that in so many words, I don't have the exact wording, na there was nothing unusual about her not coming up with a decision yet within the time period, given that it was a complex case. What have you to say about that? Is that true? Na hindi unusual to?
Well, we can only go by what the rules say, and the rules say 10 days for ordinary cases. Kung special cases, nakalagay doon 5 days.
Shorter.
Mas mabilis pa.
Mas mabilis
Pero
pa.
linawin ko lang, when we say days, alam niyo naman dito, working days, calendar days, what does 10 days refer to?
Under the law, malinaw na yung interpretation niya. Pag sinabing days sa batas or sa rules, kasama ang Sabado-Linggo dyan.
Basta hindi nakaspecify yung working day.
Yes.
Hindi, no?
Opo.
Pero sabi naman niya, yun daw kasi abogadong nag-handle na COVID. Is that an excuse?
Well, depende siguro sa NBank kung tatanggapin nilang excuse. Pero kung ang tanong ay unusual ba o irregular ba yung delay, then basihan natin yung kanilang sariling panuntunan. The rules explicitly say that 10 days from the time it is submitted for decision. Now, whatever exceptions that they may have for that rule, it would be the Comelec who will decide.
But Sir Attorney, let me get back to...
I think,
Pag
sir,
may na-COVID uli ng February 2, pwede bang excuse yan?
Magiging case-to-case basis na po, mababaliwala na yung panuntunan o yung rule. Kaya po ginagawang may deadline dahil summary proceedings po dapat ito Dahil may hinahabol po tayong eleksyon. So the rules were crafted specifically because the elections are scheduled already and the printing of ballots are being done as of now. No? So the reason why there is a prescriptive period is because the elections are already scheduled.
Okay. Now, Attorney, as we said kanina, may precedent na malinaw on the matter of retirement. What about on, I imagine this is not the first time na na-delay ang Comelec or any of our judicial bodies or quasi-judicial bodies for that matter, di ba? So in past experiences, pagka may lumalampas doon sa 10 days, ano nangyayari?
That's a sad fact, Roby, tama ka, no? Hindi naman kasi talaga kahina-hinala o kagulat-gulat na nade-delay. Kasi bagamat may deadline, karaniwan talaga nade-delay. So doon sa mga nagpa-practice, hindi kami nagugulat na lumalagpas sila doon sa 10 days or 15 days. Hindi siya surprising, hindi siya suspicious.
But has it been used as basis to question the proceedings? And for that matter, to even impute some agenda behind it?
Well, in some instances in the past, it has been used, but the consistent holding of the court, no, the Supreme Court, kapag ito'y dinadala sa kanila, yung panuntunan, the rules, no, are promulgated to aid in the expeditious resolution of the cases. And since it is only promulgated by the Comelec can also make exceptions to their own rules. If you remember, inextendable ang filing ng answer for a petition for disqualification and petition for cancellation.
Yeah,
But the
yeah.
camp of Senator Bongbong Marcos filed a motion for extension and it was granted. No, so even if there is a prescriptive period na 10 days to resolve a case, the Comelec can always bend its own rules, no, depending on the interest at hand.
Pero sir, I suppose the question of most people is, does Commissioner Guanzon have the right to complain about the delay and therefore release her own vote?
Yun po ang kagulat-gulat at surprising and irregular. Hindi karaniwan. No? It's not usual that a member of the commission will disclose his or her vote prior to the release of the decision. You don't hear that every day. It's not something you see on a normal basis. So it is something irregular, something surprising, because we have the sub judice rule that you cannot make any statements that might influence the result of a pending case.
Are you saying she's
So
liable
do you
for
think
that?
there are sufficient grounds for her to be, for her retirement benefits to be canceled? Because that's what Attorney Briones has in effect said, no, or suggested, partido reforma.
A member of the Comelec kasi is an impeachable officer. And under our jurisprudence, you cannot punish them until they are impeached. Now, so yung retirement benefits, it comes as a matter of law. The only body that can decide not to give her any retirement benefits would be the Supreme Court if a case is filed there. But as of now, she's immune from any suit because she is an impeachable officer.
So yung Comelec cannot penalize her in any way.
No po.
Tama siya.
She is a co-equal eh. Wala po silang kapangyarihang parusahan ang kapwa nila, Commissioner.
What about disbarment? Kasi it has also been raised against her. Sabi niya, pag na-disbar siya, magtatanim na lang daw siya ng tubo. But anyway, pwede ba yan? Is it a ground for disbarment? Sa yung ginawa niya yan.
Hindi rin po eh. If you recall, meron na rin po tayong kaso dyan, no? Si Inre Raul Gonzalez, when Tanod Bayan, former Ombudsman Raul Gonzalez, made statements accusing members of the Supreme Court of irregularity, may nag-file ng disbarment sa kanya. Pero ang sabi ng Supreme Court, bagamat kami ang kanyang pinahiya, hindi namin siya pwedeng parusahan dahil impeachable officer siya. Kailangan ma-impeach muna siya bago siya mapanagot sa kanyang mga sinabi.
Pero sir, she retires next week, Wednesday next week. After Wednesday, she's no longer an impeachable officer. Pwede na ba siyang habulin?
Yun po ang kagandahan ng immunity eh. Hindi siya pwedeng habulin sa mga ginawa niya nung siya immune pa.
Okay.
Okay. So pati yung retirement niya, hindi yun pwedeng ma-cancel in effect.
Hindi ho kasi
Parang after the fact na. Ganon.
parusa po kasi yun. Yung pagpatanggal ng yung retirement, that's a penalty. But penalty for what? You were not charged. So you cannot impose a penalty without due process.
Now, let's get to the other side here, yung actual na kino-complain ni Commissioner Guanzon na supposedly there is political pressure coming from an unnamed party being brought to bear upon the division to delay the release of the decision. Mabigat po 'yun, 'di ba? I mean, what is one basic thing that the Comelec should do, or for that matter, that Commissioner Guanzon also has to follow through on?
Yeah, the statement made by Commissioner Guanzon is a very serious accusation, and the least that the Comelec should do is to investigate the allegations, because I don't think she would make something that like that, no. And she has maintained integrity. I've known her for quite a long time. She was my professor in the Ateneo School of Government when I took my master's, and she untarnished ang kanyang reputation. So when she makes such allegations, the least that the colleagues can do is to investigate it. No, because the institution, you must protect the institution. Eh. If the institution loses credibility, the whole country will suffer. So I think it's a call of help. Na wala na siya. She's retiring, and I think sinabi lang niya talaga yon dahil meron siyang basis for saying that.
But as far as her colleagues are concerned, motu proprio na lang yon. Because she's already gone to town, she's gone to social media, she's gone to media to raise a lot of noise about this. But beyond that, meron pa po ba siya kailangang gawin sa loob ng Comelec mismo for that kind of process to take place?
Robbie, you have to understand, it's a collegial body kasi. If I were in her shoes, yun din ang magagawa ko lang, to call the public's attention. Kasi bilang yan you need to have the majority to be on your side. And since you cannot go room to room and talk to all your colleagues and convince them, maybe by appealing to the public, and the public will call their congressmen, and
Sure.
it will generate such a public clamor that the other commissioners might realize that this is something to look into. No? Well, I think that's the hope.
Okay. Attorney Buko, one last question, if you don't mind, singit ko na lang, pasensya na, Chiefs. But what does it do on a practical level to the timeline of this or any pending case for that matter? If you look at past incidents where inabutan ng retirement yung commissioner, tapos kailangan antayin na mapalitan pa yung commissioner na yan, and so on, beyond the question of ano kaya magiging desisyon, ang laking tanong yung, malalabas ba yung desisyon at all before the elections, after the elections, and so on. So just by waiting for her retirement and waiting for a replacement, what does that do to the timeline of this pending case?
I think it will speed up. It should. Kasi nakakahiya naman yung ponente, no? I mean, you're called out in the public. So kailan ba talaga ilalabas yung decision? Under Rule 18, Section 8 of the Rules of Procedure, 10 days from the time that the matter is submitted for resolution. Meron ka ng presiding officer na nagsasabing ilabas mo na yan at merong allegations ng irregularity. I mean, prudence dictates na ilabas mo na para ipakitang wala talagang tinatago, wala talagang nag-i-influence, para makita ng tao talaga, transparency. I think it will expedite.
Okay, maraming salamat po, Attorney Buko de la Cruz. Maraming salamat
Thank you,
po.
sir. Ingat po.
Thank you,
Always a
Attorney.
pleasure. Please stay with us. The Chiefs will be right back.
Welcome back to the Chiefs on One News, and now joining us is Comelec Commissioner Rowena Guanzon. Commissioner Guanzon, thank you very much for joining us tonight, and welcome to the Chiefs.
Welcome.
Welcome, Commissioner.
Commissioner.
Thank you, and hello.
Hello po. We're so happy to have you with us.
Ami, Lucy. Good to see you, Ami.
Oo nga
Commissioner, well, of course, we're updated with your statements. Pero po, in reaction to your statements po, may nilabas si Commissioner Ferolino na letter addressed to Chairman Abbas.
Chairman Abbas.
In reaction po to your statements. Ang sinasabi po niya ngayon,
In executive session, I asked the chair and commissioners, Chairman, you better be the one to call her because she's not answering Commissioner Casquejo either. Because Commissioner Casquejo already agreed to call her para if she wanted to waive na lang. Kasi sabi niya nung January 24 sa akin, hindi pa rin siya makakommit. Sabi ko, why don't you just waive it so that Commissioner Casquejo can write it? Para meron naman tayong sure tayo kung kailan ba talaga lalabas yan. Napakahirap naman ilabas nun. So anyway, so that we asked the chairman, as chairman, tulungan mo na lang ako. Why don't you call her up? Di naman pwedeng hindi siya sumagot sa'yo. So maybe this is the result. My comment is, Commissioner Ferolino can have time to write a 3-page explanation to the chairman, but she did not write an explanation to her presiding commissioner. How disrespectful. A division junior member is accountable to her presiding commissioner, not to the chair, because this is not an administrative matter where the chair has executive functions. How disrespectful. And
Pero
if she had the time to write 3 pages of an explanation, she should have the time to finish her resolution. Kung inilabas na ba niya yan, di tapos na. Di na mag-iisip ang tao, nasuhulan ka ba? Na-influence ka ba? Kasi yan ang iniisip ng tao eh. Kaya ako lumabas na. Na baka nasuhulan na ako. Aba, yumaman na ako. Oh. Diba? Biro mo yung sabihin sa mga Facebook na ano hinihintay ni Commissioner Guanzon dyan? Retirement bonus? People are malicious.
Pero ano po?
Hindi sabihin ng tao na nasuhulan si Commissioner Ferolino, dapat ilabas niya na yan bago ako mag-retire. Hindi yung she cannot even commit up to now when she's going to release her ponencia, which is the draft resolution, so that Commissioner Cosqueo and I can vote. I don't even know what her vote is, and I don't care. I don't care. Because whatever her vote is, this case is going to go all the way up to the Supreme Court. I mean, it's not like she's going to be the ultimate judge of this problem,
Ma'am, but also people are also asking, based on the statements you've made, people are also asking, what proof or evidence do you have? Do you have any first-hand knowledge? Doon sa sinasabi po ninyo na there's a political party behind this, and also possibly a senator who is also behind the delay in the release of the resolution.
No, I did not say a political party. I said a politician. A politician. And probably a senator. Because, Commissioner Ferolino talks to only one senator. Is the one who recommended her. And she knows who I'm talking about.
We don't. Ma'am, pero hindi namin alam. Kami pa, we don't.
I have to explain, because she wrote that, why is it that I already had a separate opinion on January 17 when she still had the records? Hello. Do you know how fast I write? You ask Dante Pimentoan how fast I can write.
Commissioner.
And I was already in that hearing. She was also in that hearing. I produced the transcript, stenographic notes in 48 hours. I gave it to all of them. How many hours?
Commissioner.
To write a ponencia where the issues are already cleared and joined and all the facts are admitted. Oh, by golly. By golly. Why are you insinuating that I wrote my decision so fast even when I didn't have the records? Oh, come on. The party submit in soft copies. So I had my own copy. I had my own copy printed. By golly, are you saying that I did not write my resolution? Oh, by golly. So you mean I did not write all those books that I published? Oh, by golly.
Hey, Commissioner, we don't suppose, Commissioner...
Better just produce your ponencia. Otherwise, you are already liable under Section 3C of the Anti-Graft and Corrupt Practices Act, which is an impeachable offense.
Ano po yung specifically?
Lapas na lang yung resolution para wala nang dami pa nating reason for the delay, tanong ilabas mo na para tapos na tayo, hindi ka nasuhulan.
Ano po yung specific?
Hindi kami lahat nasuhulan dahil nilabas na namin eh.
Ano po yung specific section na yun ng Anti-Graft and Corrupt Practices Act?
Section 3C. Section 3C of Republic Act 1039.
Ano po yan?
Yan yung when you favor a litigant, when you render a decision obviously favoring a litigant or delaying it to favor a litigant.
Ang sabi po ng mga senator, nakikiusap po sila sa inyo, if you can name the senator, kasi lahat daw sila tinatamaan.
Dapat mag-Twitter sila sa akin. O kumbing, ako ba yun? Sasabihin ko kay Mix, hindi ikaw. Sabihin mo Soto sa akin. Kumbing, ako ba yun? SP, hindi ikaw.
Sige, you have 22.
Sige pa, isa pa.
20 pa.
Pwede ka. Ipapaisa-isahin sila, ha? Pwede.
Ako ba yun, Kom? Pag sabi ko, parang ikaw na nga.
Commissioner, short of getting an actual name from you, can you tell us in what form that pressure is coming?
What form?
What form? In what form is the supposed pressure from an unnamed senator or unnamed political personality? In what form is that pressure coming?
You mean is it money? Is it what? Is it a promotion? What do you mean? What is the consideration? Hindi ko alam. Alam mo naman there are many ways to, there are many ways to convince somebody to do your bidding. Never mind, because, I don't want naman to, nasabi ko lang, Commissioner Ferolino, should already release reponensya so I can vote before I retire. So hindi na totoo itong sinasabi ng mga tao na nasuhulan siya, na nasuhulan kami. Ayoko na yumaman, mayaman na ako, tagal na. Ayoko na. Gusto ko na lang mag-retire.
Ano kaya ang ma-achieve niya sa pagsusulat kay Chairman Abbas? What do you see will be the advantage she can gain?
She can also give it to the press. Parang sagot niya sa akin without answering me. Kasi I sent her a memorandum by email today also. Halos magkasabay. To explain the unreasonable delay in the release of your ponensya. Binigyan ko rin siya ng mga timeline doon. Sa akin siya dapat mag-explain Dahil ako yung supervisor niya Ako yung presiding commissioner niya, hindi naman si Abbas. Kaya lang, I asked na Abbas, Chair Abbas, you help me out, Chair, you call her up. Maybe Abbas suggested that so that's why she wrote na lang him, so that he also has something to bring back to the bank, and say, this is a reply, kumbing, that's how disrespect, But it's never happened before, in Comelec. The people there are very protocol conscious. Very. That's why when I walk ahead of the commissioners because I'm the most senior commissioner aside from, I'm the tallest. Okay. So, the people in Comelec, they're all lawyers, and they are very discerning. If they don't want to respect you, they will not respect you, no matter your rank. So, I don't want to put her down. But what she's doing is really disrespectful.
Ano naman po ang reaksyon ninyo sa pagsasampa ng balak ng Partido Reforma na magsampa ng contempt laban sa inyo for sub judice?
Contempt? Saan nyo ako i-contempt? Anong korte? You're so stupid STUPID. How can you discipline me? I am the presiding commissioner of the First Division. How can you discipline me? I'm an impeachable officer. What? You'll file a disbarment case against me? Baka kayo pa file ako disbarment. Ikaw, George Briones, brad kita sa Sigma Rho, Sige, simulan mo, baka tapusin ko para tayong sinin nito. Baka kayo pa ipadisbar ko dyan You have a pending case in my sala. Tapos you call me narcissistic, ano sabi niya? Beautiful ba? Hindi. Incorrigible?
Wala ko na sabing ganon.
Baka that might be reason for her.
Hanggang tenga ko lang yun Alit-lit Kaya may Napoleonic complex yan Tawagin mo naman akong narcissistic.
Okay.
Ma'am, hindi lang beautiful, narcissistic, di Incorrigible. Ano ako si Charlie Brown? Incorrigible.
Yeah. Ma'am, of course,
IOC-ORIGIBLE. Ano ba, George Briones? You're not even a practicing lawyer. You don't even practice election law. What are you, lawyer of Partido Federal? You people, if I declare you in contempt, I might just subpoena you, You show cause to me on Monday why you are, what do you call this? Calling me libelous remarks, And pwede kitang ipakulong sa Manila City Jail. Walang habeas corpus sa contempt.
Okay.
Of course, we do. We do acknowledge your concerns and your suspicions based on the events in the past few weeks. However, Paul, we also have to ask you this: what is the basis? What is your basis for the suspicion that a senator may be behind the pressure on the First Division to delay? In other words,
Commissioner Ferolino.
In other words, Paul, is this based on the circumstances, or do you have actual knowledge that something is happening?
No, because it's very close to a senator. Who recommended her. In fact, who delivered a very long speech praising her to high heavens in the Commission on Appointments.
Okay, Commissioner, depending on the outcome of this case,
There's no other way for me to conclude because she's not like this to me. In fact, she comes to me and calls me anytime, the day or night. She went to my office pa before January 17 to ask me about 2 cases. You know, it's not correct that I'm trying to influence them. They're also trying to influence me. Eh? If they have a vote, they have to inform me. Oh, am I influenced by them? Nah. Ang bright niya, bright. Oh, why should we force each other? Di ba? Siya din naman, if she needs to discuss a case with me, she'll come to me and say, oh, you know, this case, like this. That's okay, I'll give you the summary of facts. What is she saying that because I gave her a draft? She's the one, I told her, you know, my lawyers already prepared a summary of facts after the hearing. Yeah, do you want that so that it's easier for you? Yes, I appreciate that. I appreciate that, ma'am. She was very nice to me and respectful before the 24th. Who can exert this pressure? Why will Commissioner Ferolino put her career on the line and her reputation on the line?
Commissioner,
Just because naiinis siya sa akin? No, because she also asked me, she asked me favors, ha? I mean, normal naman yan sa commissioners na nag-uusap kami about the cases. Normal yan. Hindi naman normal. Yung sabihin mo na, I'm trying to influence your decision. How can I do that when all I needed was your ponensya? Either way, you vote whatever, DQ being bongbong or not DQ, I don't care anymore. Just release it.
Commissioner, depending on the outcome of this issue, and then kung sakasakali mag-retire kayo, is there a possibility that you might initiate an impeachment complaint? Dahil sabi niyo merong possibility dyan ng graft violation.
You know, my mother always told me, never draw first blood. I'm just gonna give it some time, I'm going to retire, go to the farm, play with my dogs, with my Doberman. Let's see if I'll forget about it. For me, I have done my duty. I've reported to the people. I had my interview in Malcolm Hall, where I began my professional, my legal career. I have served the people and the country and Commission on Elections with honor and excellence. That is all I wanted. Zero backlog. Zero backlog ako, Ami, except for this Marcos Bongbong DQ case. Kaya naiinis ako, nasira yung record ko. My father retired RTC Judge Guanzon, zero backlog. My sister, Judge Francis Guanzon, zero backlog. Kakantyawan nila ako Hindi ka naman pala zero backlog Iniwan mo yung Marcos case. Kaya nilabas ko na.
Opo.
Tapos na po ako. Huwag niyo po isipin na nasuhulan ako. Dahil tapos na po ako, ito po yung boto ko.
Forgive...
Matatalino, sabi nila mas matalino sila sa akin. Na may liability daw ako dahil sinabi ko daw kung anong boto ko. I don't know the Tagalog word for it. For, alam mo, in colloquial, ingot nyo. Ingot kayo. You know, what did I release? I released nothing. I don't have a decision with me. Wala nga Kaya nga, I am asking Commissioner Ferolino to release it. What I did was I reported to the people my vote because of extraordinary circumstances. The people are already hurling accusations against me that nasusuhulan ako kaya dinidelay ko. I had to do it as a matter of duty and in defense of my honor.
Okay. I'm sorry po, we're not lawyers kasi here. So I have to ask you this question. As a matter of procedure ba, the fact that you already have a ponente, somebody to write the ponensya, does that mean that the division members already cast their votes?
No,
already made their
she's
votes?
supposed to write her vote. That's what you call ponensya. She drafts the resolution, that's her vote. Kunyari, her decision is not to DQ. And then I say, no, my vote is not to DQ, so I have a dissenting opinion. And then Commissioner Casquejo says, I vote also to DQ, not to DQ. So they're the majority. So whatever Commissioner Ferolino wrote na not to DQ, if joined by another commissioner, becomes the majority, resolution. And I will attach my separate opinion as a dissenting opinion. That's why I named my opinion separate opinion, because I did not know if it was going to be a concurring opinion or a dissenting opinion.
Okay, so we don't know yet who has the majority in this case. Is that correct?
Well, how will you know when Commissioner Ferolino has not released her mysterious ponensya?
Okay, I'm afraid we're losing Commissioner Guanzon.
What's so mysterious about this ponensya anyway? All the facts are admitted. I don't know what to think about Commissioner Ferolino anymore. That's why I told her already with memorandum. I sent her a memorandum by email that she should just explain the delay so that on record I made her explain as her presiding commissioner. So when Commissioner Inting comes in as the new presiding commissioner of the first division, she will have a record of what went on, because it's abnormal that the junior member or commissioner does not talk to the presiding commissioner. Unless there was really blood, It's abnormal. We don't do that. Even Andy before. Remember Andy Bautista had a conflict in the Grace case because he also hijacked my resolution. Oh, he also hijacked it because he wanted to release it after during the Christmas break so that my classmate, the Chief Justice then, Melo Aranal, could solely issue by herself a TRO, which is exactly what happened. We had a conflict. It was also in public because he gave me a memorandum for me to explain in 24 hours? Why, alam mo ito si Andy Nevermind, I forgive him naman. But como si Andy Bueno, we reconciled before he left. And, so in other words, ang worst case scenario ko pa nga, yung bad blood namin ni Andy Bautista, but we were very civil about it. And for the sake of the country,
Okay.
we really reconcile. We have to be respect. We don't have to like each other.
Yeah.
Just respect each other's independence and rank. Kasi I am the most senior commissioner. And I'm the presiding commissioner of the first division. She's answerable to me. I am answerable to the people. I'm not even answerable to the chair. There's no jurisdiction over me in my quasi-judicial functions, except to vote in the motion for reconsideration of my resolution from the first division. So, please, let's not divert the issues. Let's focus on the question of when is Commissioner Ferolino going to issue her ponensya resolution, and I would like that to happen before February 2 so I can vote. Otherwise, I have no other conclusion than that she intentionally delayed the release of her ponensya to defeat my vote, which was to disqualify Bongbong Marcos.
Okay. Comelec Commissioner Rowena Guanzon. Ma'am, maraming salamat for joining us tonight. We're so happy that you came on board.
Ma'am.
Maraming salamat po.
Ingat po.
Bye. Maraming salamat. Amy, regards.
Yes, thank you.
Comelec Commissioner Rowena Guanzon. And now joining us is Attorney George Briones, the General Counsel of the Partido Federal ng Pilipinas. Attorney George, are you there?
Good evening, Attorney.
Good evening, attorney.
Magandang gabi po.
I think he's still connecting. There.
There you
Attorney
go.
George, magandang gabi
Good
po.
evening, Attorney.
Hi.
Magandang gabi po.
Magandang gabi po sa inyong lahat. Good evening.
Good evening po.
everybody.
Good evening po.
Attorney, well, we witnessed a word war of sorts earlier today. I'm wondering if you're still considering legal measures with regard to the statements made earlier by Commissioner Guanzon.
What do you mean?
Because earlier, I understand that your party threatened to file or raise a possibility of a disbarment case against Commissioner Guanzon.
That is not correct.
Well, sir,
What is correct?
Feel free to clarify for us.
my statement today is very clear, and I gave all of the media a copy of my statement. And the only issue there is this: was Commissioner Guanzon right in telling her vote in GMA 7 yesterday before Sandra Aguinaldo? And I said it was not right. It was against our judicial ethics. And I seem to be in a good place because just a while ago, our very respected Dean of Election Law Practitioners, who is the counsel himself of Vice President Leni Robredo, sided with me, who is for Marcos. And he said, respectfully, that Commissioner Guanzon is liable for divulging her vote in a decision that was not yet promulgated.
Okay. Attorney, atras lang po ako ng konti. Maliban po doon sa action ni Commissioner Guanzon and whether or not she is liable for it, she is making the charge and sounding the alarm on what she says is supposedly political pressure being brought to bear upon the division so as to delay a very, very important decision. Just on that level, as counsel of Partido Federal, as somebody invested not in this case, but in the general electoral process, would you agree that that's at the very least, a serious charge and a serious accusation that should be looked into?
Well, as things unfolded today, after I issued my statement as General Counsel of the Partido Federal ng Pilipinas, many things already happened. And Commissioner Amy Ferolino has always been quiet all these 12 days where Commissioner Rowena Guanzon has been hurling accusations left and right against her. And I read her statement, and this is what she said. If you will allow me, because this is a very grave allegation against a fellow commissioner. This is what Commissioner Ferolino said against Commissioner Guanzon. Quote, "She is trying to influence my decision and trying hard to persuade me in her direction." Close unquote. To me, that is a very grave accusation which should be answered.
Pero attorney, do you still want the Comelec to investigate and penalize Commissioner Guanzon? Kasi sabi niya she's an impeachable official and the Comelec cannot do that.
Well, my statement speaks for itself. I said, the Partido Federal ng Pilipinas is respectfully requesting the Comelec to conduct an investigation as to whether it finds that the act of Commissioner Guanzon of divulging her vote before Channel 7 is a violation of the judicial ethics or not. That is our respectful request. Now, what did Chairman Comelec Commissioner Ferolino say in her statement? She is now asking Chairman Abbas to also investigate why Commissioner Guanzon disclosed her name as the ponente. But because that is also prohibited. That is her charge now. Why did Commissioner Guanzon revealed to the public that she is the ponente in this case. And you know, in your show tonight, she again made another revelation that I think Commissioner Marlon Casquejo will react to, because she told national television tonight what the vote of Marlon Casquejo is. That is a very, very big problem.
No, she did. I'm not sure if my colleagues here will
my
agree with
impression
me,
was that
but
she was speaking
she did
theoretically.
not say anything about the vote of Commissioner Casquejo. As far as I can recall, although we can go back to the recording, but she did not mention anything about how Commissioner Casquejo voted, just to set the record straight. Yes. My question to you, yes.
You know, Lucy, you can defend her because this is
No,
what
I'm not defending her. I'm just saying that.
No. This is what I heard from her. She said, because I'm really confused what her decision is, whether it is a separate opinion or whether it is a dissenting opinion. This is what I heard her say. And it is recorded. Even Chief Justice Alex Esbundo, if he was watching your show, no, it's not. This is what she said. The vote of Marlon Casquejo is not to DQ. Did you hear that? Or I was hearing a ghost?
My impression, sir, was that she was saying if his vote is to DQ and her vote is to DQ, and then should be the dissenting opinion.
Yeah.
Because that was precisely the question. Was there,
So
was there a decision already? Was there a vote already?
Vote is,
It's to be clear, sir, we're not defending. We do feel compelled to have to try to recall how we recall it. Also because this is our show. We also don't want to have that perception and be unfair to anyone. My recollection of it was that she was trying to explain the process from the ponencia all the way to the release of a final decision. And in that, made some theoretical hypotheticals, and this is how it happens. Somebody starts it, the next person gets it, the next person agrees or disagrees, and so on and so forth. But I have to agree with my colleagues that I don't think that she did that on the show.
Yes. Well, what she said was, baka daw kayo ipa-contempt niya on Monday. What's your reaction to that statement?
You know, Ami, I have been a practitioner since 1979, and we are used to appearing before judges. Okay lang yon. Ano yan that's part of law practice.
Sir, ano pong implication ng violation of judicial ethics, which is what you, in effect, are saying that she's guilty of? Ano pong consequences noon? Anong maaaring mangyari sa kanya gayong magre-retire na nga siya by February 2?
You know, legal and judicial ethics is a bar subject. You know, lawyers only read it once in their lifetime, and that is before they take the bar. But after passing the bar, they forget about legal and judicial ethics. So that is only the lesson today. It is just like good manners and right conduct. You know, when we come from the outside, when we were young, we were taught to wash our heads. Good manners and right conduct. Before we sleep, we will told to say a prayer. Yan lang po ang ethics. So, nung sinabi niya yon sa Channel 7, ganito ang boto niya, violation po yon sapagkat dapat yung boto niya, hindi niya sinasabi. Why? Ang judge po kasi dapat wala kang interest sa kaso. Dapat impartial ka, dapat fair ka. Pero pagka ina-anunsyo mo yung boto mo, in a collegial setting, it shows your interest.
Okay. If I may, and I'm not speaking for but I think it also expresses frustration. I think that's very, very clear. Even desperation on her part. She's very open about that she's desperate for the decision to come out before she retires. But so setting her actions aside, I do want to ask your thoughts, sir, about the process and the time it's taking for this decision to come out. Not just Commissioner Guanzon, we also spoke with some lawyers. Kanina kausap po namin si Attorney De La Cruz ng Divina Law. And he was saying may prescribed period naman talaga for when decisions should be released, how expeditiously matters should be considered and finally settled. Would you agree, sir? I mean, taking aside your thoughts on the actions of Commissioner Guanzon, that there is reason to be concerned about how long this matter is taking?
Well, when you were discussing all of these internal procedures, I was squirming in my seat. Why? Because all of these things that you were discussing were confidential proceedings of the court. Now, if you disclose a confidential proceeding of the court, that is a breach of duty as a public officer. And if it is a breach of duty, that is public mistrust, and you are guilty of gross misconduct.
Okay. But again, sir, if you don't mind, again, that goes to your opinion on the actions of Commissioner Guanzon. What I really want to ask about is what Attorney De La Cruz was trying to explain to us, that beyond the actions of one person, and this is not an internal matter to the Comelec, Attorney De La Cruz was saying, this is a matter of rules. This is a matter of law. This is a matter of what the Comelec has been mandated to follow. That there is, in this particular case, he said, 10 days upon submission of everything for this matter to be settled. And that's what people are also asking. So like I said, itabi po muna natin si Commissioner Guanzon yung actions niya. Ang tanong ko po sa inyo, as a stakeholder in the integrity of our electoral processes, don't you think that there is reason to ask, well, sa bagay, ang tagal na naman kasi talaga nitong decision para lumabas. Lampas-lampas na to ng 10 days.
Well, that is your judgment. What Commissioner Jaime Ferolino is saying is that there is undue haste. That is what she is saying. There is a clear conflict between the two. Because, you should not decide the case only because somebody is retiring. That is very haphazard. When you decide the case, you read what the petitioners are saying, and then you read what the respondent is saying, and then you make up your mind. That is how to decide the case. You do not decide the case without reading the pleadings of both sides. You have already made your mind. So it is a tedious process.
Yeah. But
there
should
are 3 cases involved here, not only one. There are only 12 days that pass. That is the statement of Commissioner Ferolino and 2 of her staff who are drafting these decisions got COVID. What is the protocol when you get COVID? The minimum protocol is you isolate for at least 5 days. So, it's a matter of point of view. This is politics, one side will say there is delay, another side will say there is undue haste. What is my thought on the matter? My thought on the matter is that we support the institution of the Comelec. Let us not destroy it. In fact, let us strengthen it. Whenever the Partido Federal participates in a meeting where the Comelec is involved, we always tell the Comelec, Chairman Abbas, tell us how the party can help you in the May 9, 2022 elections. That is the position of the PFP with regards to Comelec. We want the Comelec to succeed. And the way that they are doing it, you do not know, the unsung heroes, those who are not commissioners, the directors, the ordinary employees, they are doing a woman's job. And I think they are succeeding. And I am confident that we will have a free and honest elections in May 9, 2022.
Okay. Attorney Briones, maraming salamat po.
Thank you, Attorney.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you po.
Attorney George
Thank you.
Briones is General Counsel of the Partido Federal ng Pilipinas. And
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
Maraming salamat po.
Thank you po.
And that's all for this edition of the Chiefs. We hope what was discussed here will keep the conversation going. Before we go, a reminder to our viewers, mask on, wash hands, and stay safe, Philippines. I'm Robbie Alampay.
I'm Ami Pamintuan of the Philippine Star.
I'm Lucy Cruz Valdez from News 5.
I'm Ed Lingao, and we are One News.